Okay, it asked here, were any of your children born? No, we were not born while you were in the military. What kind of medals? Did you win any medals or decorations?
Our unit received a unit citation. We were flying 8-hour missions on a plane that is designed to fly 6 maximum.
How many people in your unit?
Well, that meant the squadron.
The squadron? How many airplanes?
We had three squadrons of 16 airplanes to make the fighter group.
Mm-hmm.
So the 35th Fighter Group got a presidential citation for flying these long missions. And after being strapped in there 8 hours, I'd come back and they had a bubble canopy on them. It was just like a fishbowl you're sitting in. And on a long mission like that, we'd fly above the weather, probably 25, 30,000 feet. And you're right out in that sun, and it was just scorching. And I'd come home, my flight suit would be wringing wet. And I'd come home and I'd be so weak that I couldn't get out of the cockpit. They had to lift me out of the plane.
Was that typical for most of the pilots?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was just draining.
Yeah. For that long a mission, do you pack like a sack lunch, or do they feed you?
The flying suit had pockets on the legs, and cook, mess chief would make us all a couple of sandwiches we would stick in there, and then we had our canteen full of water.
Yeah. How did you go potty or whatever? You didn't? You had to hold it?
You had to hold it. Well, we had what they called a relief tube. You could urinate. You had this tube under your seat. You'd pull it up.
Yeah.
You'd go in the tube.
Yeah.
But if you had to have a bowel movement, you were out of luck.
Forget it.
And
Wow.
I know one day we went on a long mission, and everybody in our outfit had diarrhea.
Yeah.
And the cook couldn't think of nothing. No, I don't remember the cook. It was a flight surgeon. He couldn't think of nothing better, except he had the mess officer sergeant give us all a handful of paper sacks. We put them in our thing. And when you try to have a bowel movement in a paper sack, which is hard enough.
Yeah.
But when you roll the canopy back to throw it out, oh,
Yeah.
oh,
That face full of shit, huh? Oh,
it
yeah.
was terrible.
Oh, God.
I tried that one time, and after that I said, I'll fill my pants first.
I'll deal with this, huh?
But the thing was, see, the plane would not fly by itself. No automatic pilot. You couldn't turn loose the stick. They would go everywhere.
Yeah.
And when you unhooked your safety belt, I could never get it hooked up again because it took both hands. And that plane, who knows where it would be.
Oh, no.
So you had to fly the rest of your mission without any seat belt. And it was not a safe thing
Not
to
a
do.
safe thing to do. Whoa. So you made sure you took your kaopectic before you went if you thought you weren't going to have diarrhea that day, huh?
Well, we had a standard joke. You either had pink pills or yellow pills. One of them was for diarrhea and the other was for constipation.
Oh, gosh.
And in between that, you had your malaria pills.
Oh, shoot. So, how long did you actually serve? Do you remember? How many years?
4 years.
And you were, what was your highest rank?
First lieutenant.
First lieutenant? That's pretty impressive. You must still have all your medals and stuff somewhere, huh?
Yeah, that's all up there.
Yeah.
I still got my tunic up there. My flight
Do you?
tunic.
Wow.
Don't fit me. I can't button it.
Yeah? Okay. What did you do right after your military service? Or do you have anything else that you might remember during this? That we'd want to talk about that, or you just kind of flowed over it. Got any other memories? We can come back to them.
Well, not a whole lot. I want to go home so bad. I turned down an opportunity to up my rank to captain, but I'd had to spend 4 more years overseas, and they wanted to send me to mainland China to become an instructor to teach the Chinese Army to fly. And I want to come home too bad.
Yeah, yeah.
I turned it down.
Yeah.
It could have been a good career, though.
Yeah.
I come home and I thought, well, I'll get a job flying. I need lots of airlines. I need pilots,
Yeah.
They laughed at us. They didn't want no fighter pilots in their planes.
On the, just see you on a passenger plane doing tumbles. Not a good thing. So then after the war ended, what was it like then? You came home and of
I
course
went
you
back to the rubber factory where
you
I
went
left.
right back to the same place,
Yeah,
huh?
same old job.
Yeah. And let's see what else we have for military stuff. What was the hardest adjustment to make when you had to return to civilian life? Missing your airplane
Right.
piloting?
Yeah, well, I missed the flying more than anything. I did join up with the reserves, and I'd go down to Long Beach and once a month for a meeting, and we had to we'd get flying time in then. And I remember they had a couple of AT-6s, advanced training planes, dual tandem seats, room for 2 people. And this guy took me up to show me give me an orientation flight on Long Beach, and show me where the runway was and everything. And after one flight, he says, "No," he says, "we don't fly that way anymore."
Yeah.
He says, "We don't make square turns." You come around like this. So I thought, well, if I have to fly that way, I don't want no
I
part
don't
of
want
it.
to fly anymore. It's no fun.
Took all the fun of
No
it.
challenge anymore. Well, as many times as you say you were bored just flying around,
Yeah,
you know.
that's
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like driving a truck when you're
Yeah.
used to driving a sports car.
Yeah. Yeah. Get a little old. Okay, let's see here. Do you feel like your life was changed by being in the military? Do you feel like a different person?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember, did you have a special buddy, a best friend in the military?
Yeah.
Do you remember his name?
I had a couple of them. George Elliott, through most of my flight training. And then when I got overseas, I was with Walt Baker. George Elliott went on ahead of me when I had that accident in New Guinea. He got shipped out, and he was flying missions before I ever got to my outfit. He was with a unit that had P-51s that were converted to aerial photography, and he'd fly picture-taking missions.
Hmm.
And of course, he got his time in before I ever got to my unit, and he
Yeah.
went sent home.
But they both
I
survived?
never heard of him since.
Yeah.
I know he went to come back to the States.
Yeah.
My friend Walt Baker, I heard from him recently. He's in a what do you call it, old soldiers home or something.
Oh, really?
There to get married.
Yeah?
He was there.
Oh, my.
He had some kind of health problems. He wasn't able to get out and around on his
yeah,
own or anything.
Yeah. But you heard from him recently, huh?
Yeah, probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah? Wow. Did you have any painful memories about your military life?
No, it was kind of hard to see some of your buddies fly into the ground
Yeah.
and get killed.
Yeah.
You know, I think I told you that 18 of us went over there together. Of the 18, I think 3 of us come back.
3 of you?
And there wasn't any of their lives lost due to military action.
In what?
None of them were killed due to military action.
Oh, my.
Just horsing around bored.
Yeah?
And,
Doing
well, like
stupid
this one
things?
guy that flew into the ground. I take it back. There was one guy. We were coming back from a mission from over Tokyo one day, and this one guy got a piece of flak in his radiator. He lost his coolant, and his engine was overheating.
Mm.
And it was to the point where he's redlined, and we got him out over the water and called Flying Cat. These amphibious planes, called them Catalina was the name, and we called them Flying Cats. We called the Flying Cat to pick up this guy, and the flight leader told him to bail out. We were out over the ocean, about halfway between Japan and Okinawa. And we watched the guy bail out. We circled around him. He landed in the water, and you sit on your life raft, and he opened his life raft, he climbed in it, and cut his parachute loose, and they were waving to us. So we knew he got down okay, and he was all right. And the flying boat said they'd be there within 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And we give them instructions how to find him and everything. And we were about out of fuel. We had to get home, so we left him there. And the flying boat never did find him.
Oh dear.
So
Something happened?
well, there was a squall come up, and they figured it probably, well, nobody knows really.
Who's to say?
But the flying boat couldn't find him in this rain squall.
Yeah.
That's the only guy that was killed due to enemy action. The rest of them, you know, I told you we had our machine guns that would converge at 750 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, every time when you go on a mission, you'd pick a target or something like, there's a mountain peak out there, and we'd get our gun sight right on that mountain peak and give it a squirt to shoot our guns.
Mm-hmm.
And this would tell, when you looked at the film later on, it would tell you whether your guns were where they're supposed to be or whether you're missing your target. And everything.
Uh-huh.
And I told you how to readjust your guns. They call that a cider burst. And a couple of guys, my outfit, a couple of friends, were out one day, and I said, well, I don't see nothing to take a cider burst on. Let's get out here and I'll take a cider burst on you and you take one on me. They flew right into each other. I mean, how dumb.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, this kind of thing, you know,
Yeah.
no excuse for that.
Oh, geez.
So there's two guys dead right there.
Yeah.
Another guy was flying formation or something, and this guy above him shot at something. I don't know what they're shooting at. And the ammunition shells come down and drop from this guy underneath him. And somehow it got it in his intake and the engine and killed the engine, and he had to bail out of the ocean. And things like that, you know, they're just
Stupid things like that.
stupid things.
You had a little experience, didn't you tell me about they wanted you to parachute and you didn't do it and you got in trouble? What
Yeah,
was
well,
that?
that was when I was in Colorado Springs flying P-40s.
Yeah?
And this guy I told you showed us how to tumble in a plane.
Oh, okay.
He had, I think 5 or 6 of us were going out on a dive bomb practice run one day, and we'd just taken off from the base, and my engine caught fire, and we were probably 1,000 feet, maybe 2,000 feet up. And the flight leader, he says, bail out, you're on fire. He said, you can't make it back to the runway, you're too close, too low. And I turned around, I come back to the runway. I did make it back to the runway. I landed that plane and come down, and all the fire trucks and the ambulance and everybody sitting down there waiting for me like a bunch of vultures, you know. Yeah. I just ignored them. I just flew right on past them and landed the thing and taxied up and parked it on the ramp. Meantime, the fire trucks were right behind me, and they put the fire out, and there was broken oil lines when it was. And I got chewed out something horrible because I didn't bail out. He says, you could have got killed then. And I said, well, my radio wasn't working. I didn't hear you say nothing. But I did.
I didn't see nothing.
Took the wires in two out tonight. Oh, that's not safe to jump out of those things.
So you never did bail out of an airplane?
No way
then?
would I bail
No
out.
way.